Hi, sixth graders, and welcome back to Writing Workshop. So, on Monday and Tuesday, you went ahead and you took those claims you had about your character, those ideas, and you turned them into strong theses, those individual theses, with the great help of Mrs. Harris. We are going to keep moving along on our literary essay train, and we are going to support those theses. It's tough ones, plural word. Those theses that we have about our character. Just to recap, remember that a thesis is like the main point of your essay. So it is like the main point that you are trying to get across to your readers. It's like the glue that ties your whole essay together, because everything in your essay you can relate back to your thesis. You're like, hey, did you forget what I'm talking about? Just go look at my thesis, because I got all my information up there for you. And so we are going to take our thesis and we are going to find text evidence that really, really, really supports it. Because our thesis is strong, but when we back up our thinking with that text evidence, it makes our essay even stronger. So let's take a look at what we're doing today. Oh, and I left the building, but I'm back. So we are going to just first choose the strongest thesis that we came up with. I want you to go ahead and find that chart that we worked on March 1st. And I want you to decide which thesis statement about your character will have the best evidence to support it. So when I looked at our different thesis statements about Chloe and each kindness, I was thinking about, which one am I going to find 3 pieces of evidence from the text to support it? So when I looked at the one that said, okay, Chloe's unkind when Maya first arrives to school, I just kept thinking, that's going to be a lot of repetition. And I know she's unkind a few times, but I don't know if I could find 3 specific instances of when she's unkind to Maya. And I look at this one down here. Chloe is unkind and mean as she struggles with how to treat the new girl, Maya. Again, it's a fine thesis. I just don't know if I can find really strong text evidence in 3 pieces of it to really support what I was thinking. So I went ahead and I chose the one that really focuses on how your character changes throughout the story. And I chose that as my strongest one because I know personally I've read this story up, down, left, right, up, down, back, just like you guys have. And I know I can find 3 pieces of text evidence, one from the beginning, the middle, and the end, to support how Chloe changed as a character in each kindness. So I went ahead and chose that one. You need to make sure you choose your strongest thesis statement, the one that you like, and the one that you know you're going to be able to support with 3 details from the text. So once you've done that, here's our work for today. You chose your thesis. Then you want to make sure you go back and you watch or listen to your Pixar short or your short story to pull out those pieces of evidence to support your thesis. Remember that thesis is that idea you have about your character. So for me, my idea is that Chloe changed from being unkind to being really remorseful and regretted how she treated Maya at the end. So what I did is I pulled up each kindness, but you can listen to your story, you can watch your Pixar short, and you want to find 3 times in the text where it supports that idea you have about your character. So for me, Chloe changing. So I know to kind of show how she changed, I have to show how she was before the end of the story, kind of the beginning. So I remember as I was reading, this part right here was pretty powerful, where Maya came in, sat down next to her, and Chloe turned her back to Maya and did not interact with her at all. So I thought that was a strong first piece to show how she was acting towards Maya in the beginning. Then as the story goes along, I was thinking, okay, I should probably find maybe one more time where she's mean, so then I can really show how she changes at the end. Um, and so I looked at this one here, and she says, Chloe's not, or her friend says, Chloe's got a new friend. And, um, and Chloe whispers back, she's not my friend. And I thought that was like a decent piece of text evidence, but I feel like I can find one maybe that she participates in a little more with being mean to Maya. And so as I kept going and I was reading, I found this one right here where her friend calls her Never Knew because of her clothes. They look like they're from a secondhand store. And she says, we all laughed. And I think that one really shows how how Chloe was a follower. She fell into that peer pressure. And so I like how that one supports how she was unkind, not only by her actions in the first one, but then what she didn't do, which was standing up for Maya and ending up laughing at her. And then for my last piece of text evidence, I knew I had to find that part at the end where she ends up changing and becomes really, really remorseful for how she treated Maya. And so I ended up going with that part down here where she says, when she reached the pond, her throat filled with all the things she wished she could have said to Maya, each kindness she had never shown. So she knew, I've got all these things I wish I could say to her, but I can't. All this kindness that I was not even saving up, that I didn't even want to show her, and now I do, and it's too late. She really shows how remorseful she is. So once you watch your Pixar short, listen to your story, and you find those 3 pieces of text evidence, now you have just got to fill in the chart. So step 1, you're going to make sure you write your thesis that you chose up here, that strongest thesis statement about your character, and then you are going to go ahead and fill in your 3 pieces of text evidence to support your thesis. So I've got my first one about how Chloe didn't smile at Maya, turned her back. I've got my second one there about how they were making fun of Maya's clothing, and I've got that third one about how she changes. So notice how I looked at my story again. I pulled out those parts and I put them into my chart. 1, 2, and 3. So that is your work for today. Choose your strongest thesis from the chart that we looked at on and made on March 1st. Then go ahead, rewatch or listen to your Pixar short or short story to find those 3 pieces of text evidence and then fill in that chart. All right, well, get ready to support your thesis with that text evidence.